G'day folks, today I've got a couple of cool tools for you. One is very sexy, I would consider it. AEG's Fusion Recip. It's the BUS18B and then the Jigsaw BST18BX. Unfortunately, we had to shove Dwayno in a box right beside me because in Melbourne, Victoria, we're still in COVID restrictions. Been almost 6 months, but this is our lives at the moment. So Dwayno is here and is present. You've had a bit of play with these, Dwayno, as well. I've had them for most of the time. What was your thoughts?
Well, how about I go over the Jigsaw and you go over the Reciprocating mostly?
That sounds great, because I like the Recip more anyway. The Reciprocating, couple of quick things on it, and there's going to be a couple of quick things because this thing doesn't have bells and whistles, and it's not going to shine your shoes. What it's going to do is an outrageously good job. With a nice sharp blade in it, it is going to smash anything to bits. It'll rip your face off if you're not careful. It's got orbital mode on it, and the orbital mode is quite good. Just in case anybody doesn't understand orbital mode, it actually does a bit of a soaring motion and an up and a down. It really increases the speed of your cutting. So if you're just hacking the daylights out of something, flick it into orbital mode and you're laughing. So the orbital mode's good.
Only in timber, don't do that in metal.
Wouldn't do that in metal, great idea. Just shows how much I don't use do anything in steel. So at standard, I run it most of the time just in standard mode, not in orbital. The standard mode is cool. I run fairly good blades anyway, but this thing, red gum sleepers, treated pine sleepers, and also a stack of pruning as my daily job on the campsite. So it's a really good unit. Dwayno will note and will back me up, I don't usually like the form factor of these tools. This one isn't massively front heavy. You might think that's because it's light and cheap and it hasn't got much guts to it. Absolutely untrue. There's something about this that I'm actually quite comfortable with where I'm normally not. I do run it on a 3 amp battery, which will sound a bit silly, but I get tons of runtime out of that. Also, since this is a fusion tool, it's matched perfectly with the Force batteries. The tool's upgraded to heavy duty. That's why they call it the Fusion. It's a few select tools. And then their Force batteries are basically optimised in basic terms without using their marketing garbage. They're optimised for the Fusion tools. That's about right in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. They just seem to be... They seem to take advantage of the extra power that the Force batteries can provide.
Yes.
Now, this tool is actually powerful enough to do genuine demo with it.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're doing genuine demo, you're definitely going to have a bigger battery on it. You're not going to be running it on 3s. You're going to have it on 6 or 9s.
Yeah, it's fair cool.
But yeah, it's a cracking tool. I have 2 little things that I'm not so sure about on that.
Yep.
First is the blade change is the old school grab the collet and twist it, and I think that's
you got to put your hand inside
in today's day and age.
Yep.
I also thought, now it's got an adjustable shoe, which is great. All Recipro stores should have one, especially professionals. But I thought that the base position for it was still quite far away from the tool. What do you think about that?
You're right. Yeah, no, I think you're right.
Well, yeah, so it's good that it's adjustable because you get to use the blade more, but shorter blade, it's making all of your blades shorter.
Correct. By
having the shoe sit further out from the tool. So you might need to use a 9-inch blade where you normally need to use a 6.
Yeah,
or
I
you
agree.
Might need to
and you also
for a 12.
Yep. You also lose the very back part of the blade. So a couple of times I did try and pull the shoe in further because look, teeth of dollars essentially. I was trying to pull it back in to use that back end of the blade, and you don't quite get that. You're right.
Yeah.
I hadn't written that down, but you are right that the shoe should actually go in a little bit further.
Yeah, a little bit of a design oversight, I think, there.
Yeah, correct. One of the other positives is the rafter hook. Now, granted, I don't use it a heap because I'm not on a build-in site, but it's a solid rafter hook. Like, I haven't mucked around and gone, oh, we'd better just put one on it. It's plenty solid. This thing is put up with a lot. I don't know what sort of rating it is, but I think it was about close to 200 metres worth of stormy, and I cut pipes and pits, and I have this thing caked in clay continuously, and it hasn't missed a beat. Plus we did laundry demo, a laundry build. I already rate that. That's their Fusion unit, and it's as filthy as all get out, but I really rated it, and I'm quite happy with that one.
Yeah, good strong performer.
Yep. It's 3.1 kilo without a battery on it. And it's also 0 to 3100 RPM. So 3100, flat knackers the whole way for me. 3100 RPM, absolutely no dramas. And about $329 for that skin.
What's the stroke length, Mike?
Yeah. You did that
I'm
just
going
to
to
stitch
annotate
me
that
up
on the screen because that's important.
Okay. Yep. Fair call. All right. You're a scumbag.
All right. Let's move on to the Jiggy, hey?
Yes. Yep.
So the Jigsaw, I quite like. It's not one of their fusion range.
No.
And it is. What was it? How much did it cost?
$339.
$339. So sort of getting up there with the brushless prices of other premium brands.
Yep. Yeah, they're putting themselves up there.
But it's a pretty strong performer. You and I have talked before about how much we like D handles, and especially you've come around to them.
Yeah.
In more recent times. I just think that the control you get to be able to use it one-handed in a D handle is so far beyond what you can do with a barrel jigsaw.
I agree in full with that. What I want to also just quickly add is that with this D handle in particular, I love that you've got not even stretching your thumb, but right where your thumb is, you've actually got your variable speed dial. I reckon that is brilliant.
That's great. Yeah, that's really good. And of course, being a barrel, you've got a variable speed trigger anyway.
Yep.
So the dial's kind of doesn't even need to be there, but it's just a luxury to have.
Well, yes, and when we start thinking about barrels, though, the barrels don't have the right near the thumb. So you're right, but hey, I reckon they got two things right here.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, this isn't a true variable speed. It does jump up in stages.
Yep.
So you can't make this blade go up and down really slowly. It's still going to have a minimum strokes of, I don't know, what do you think it might be, 200 RPM or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely not as refined as some other major brands, that's for sure.
Yeah, or SPM, I think they would call it in jigsaws, strokes per minute.
Yep.
But with that aside, most of the time I run a jigsaw, I've got it at full speed on the dial, and then I just vary it with my trigger.
Yep.
And this is very good at that.
It is, and you and I were chatting before about how sometimes you like to be able to just have it on just to start cutting into, if you're trying to cut around pipes, you're working on deckings, that sort of stuff. I didn't find it an issue, but because I did a ramp and was cutting around a pipe, but yeah, it would have been probably nice to have it where you could just touch the trigger and actually feed in a little bit slower. I worked around it fairly easy, but it would have been nice if it was just that tad slower.
Yeah, agreed. Another thing is I can't remember what it's called now. Is it S mode or something for starting off on it?
I think it's A for automatic. No, line start. It's got.
Yeah.
This one's got line.
Line start mode. That's right. I think it's a decent idea, but I don't think it's implemented that well.
So much so that I didn't use it. I didn't bother.
Sure. It does start off nice and slow, but then it just kind of goes full tong after that.
Yep.
Full tong, and I would much rather just use the variable speed inherent with the trigger.
Yeah, and especially considering it's a D handle where you have that great control. So, I think you've already got it there. The Orbital actually is also really cool. That certainly does its job. I'd also say that...
Yeah, I think that's got 3 settings.
Yes, it has, 0, 1, 2, 3. It's also got a really cool blade change. It's nice and strong. I know some things we talk about, you go, oh, so what? But some things can be really aggravating over time. The blade change on the Recip. It's nice and strong. It's got a lever at the front. Drop your blade in, let go, and you're done. Super easy there. What I'd also quickly say, it's got a little blower. So if you've got plenty of dust on your line in the front, you flick the little switch here, flick it back, and you get the blowing out the front on your line where you're cutting. Doesn't make a massive difference, but if it makes a little difference on a good job, then saves you from putting your head down there and trying to blow it off.
I actually think it's a little thing that makes a big difference for me.
Yep.
I really appreciate having that little blow on the dust. Does it have an LED as well at the front there?
Yeah, it does. Yep.
I find that's quite useful on jigsaws because sometimes you're trying to cut a grey lead line on some decking or something like that, and it's not that easy to see.
Yep.
So the blow and the little light, I think, are actually important little things on jigsaws.
Yeah, true. Now the other thing that AEG have done is, so you don't have to hit the trigger to get the light going, it's got a tiny little micro lever switch underneath the handle, back where your last two fingers would be. So as you pick it up, as soon as you take any weight on the tool, that little micro switch is actually flicked and your light's on already. So you don't actually have to hit the trigger to get the light. Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, that's a cool one. I like it. It's pretty compact, funnily enough.
I felt that with AEG before.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I can't remember what it's on. There's another tool that we reviewed where it had it. Maybe the impact driver, I think, where they had that little switch. Funnily enough, I run this most of the time on the 6 amp. I don't know why, because I probably should have the 6 on the Recipro, but that's just what worked for me, and it's good. I like a bit extra weight on a jigsaw, so you've actually got less chance of it bumping up and down. I just had a 6 on it, and I was happy with that.
Yeah, it is for sure. Yep, for sure.
Oh, mate's yawning in the box there. Yeah, good on him. You know.
No, I do. I like these tools, but I'm not there for you to wind me up and get me pumping.
That's what it is. Okay, so this jigsaw, it's the BST18BX at 0 to 3,500 RPM. We spoke about the orbital mode, which is good and important. It's 2.16 kgs without a battery. So with a 6 amp, I don't know, you're probably sitting at about 2.7, something like that. So that's probably all that's on that. It has got a plastic base on it that you can clip on and off. It doesn't really matter that. If I'm doing something funky where I really want to protect the top, I'd masking tape over that or over a metal base anyway. But if it gets busted or chips, you can just order a new one and whack a new banger on. So 6-year warranty on AEG.
Pretty standard. Yeah, that's right. I think on the batteries as well.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Is it? I could be wrong. I'll annotate it if it's not.
Let's go on annotation. So these two, I've dead set love this. I've used it as stack, and the jigsaw's cool. So I'll wrap it up there. These are really nice tools. Get out and try them out. You can certainly hit up AEG's Job Site Solutions guys, and they'll come out. I'm pretty sure. If not, they're going to now. They'll come out and let you use one of those and give you a bit of a demo. So. Good on you, AEG, for doing that. Anyway, hopefully you've liked this. Really sorry it's a little bit awkward with Dwayne and I. There's nothing we can do. COVID stitched us up. Hopefully we're out of it soon. Yep. If you've liked the video, please hit like and subscribe. Please follow us on Insta. We're about to crack 10,000 on Insta. So, but the most important thing is comment down below. Dwayne's usually replying to everything there, but we certainly love your feedback and we appreciate you giving us your feedback. So thanks very much.
Thanks for watching, guys.